Hey all of you, hope you guys are great. So this is where we left in the last video. We have created different folder and file structure for our global error handler. We have built the controller, we have built the app error class. So if you haven't watched, I'll link that video in the I button in the description so you guys can follow. So this is where we left in the video, in the last video, and we're going to continue from here. Okay. So let's come here. We have all this error, and what I can do, let's come back to the controller. This is where we have the error, and this is in our NFT controller. You can see here we have this error models. Okay, so we have this catch, try and catch. Okay, so we have to fix this. I don't want to catch an error like this. Okay, I don't want to add try and catch block in every single function. So we're going to convert this into a error handler model. Okay, so this is a async function, and we have to write a functions which can handle all the error which is coming in async. Okay, so we'll have two different strategy, one for catching a normal error and the other one is catching those error which is coming from async functions. Okay, so let's write the functionality for this. Okay, so this is what we have here, this catch, and that's what we're going to fix right now. Okay, we are sending two different responses, but we don't want to do that. You want to make it more robust. So to fix this, what we can do, let's come up here and we're going to create another function which can wrap all these async functions. Okay, so let me show you what I mean. I'll take a variable, I'll call it catch async, and the reason why I have given this name because I want to catch all asynchronous error. Okay, so here I will say my fun, you can call whatever you want, and here I have access to this my fun request, response, and next. Okay, so these are the three property I have access, and this is what I have. Okay, so simply copy that and simply wrap this entire function till here to here. Okay, so when someone will hit this route create NFT, it will run the functions, and if anything goes wrong in that, our async function will catch that. Okay, so that's look pretty good, and here we're going to catch that error. Okay, so we can say catch, and we have this error dot error, and we can call the next, and in that we're going to pass the error. So the moment we have called this next, so whenever an error will happen in this create NFT, because of the next we have used, and we are directly sending this error message to our global error handler. Okay, so hope this makes sense and how easy it becomes. Okay, so this error will be transferred to our global error middleware. Okay, so that looks pretty fine, and now what we can do, simply comment this out, and the thing we want from here is this only the response we want here. Simply copy this portion and cut or leave it. Okay, and paste here. Okay, this is the only code we have to keep in this entire function. Okay, simply uncomment this. So this is what we have here, and no more error we have. As you can see, we are back. Okay, rec is not defined, and can you guess that why it says that request is not defined? Because in our async function there is no way to find out these data, request, response, and next. So how we can easily able to access from create NFT? Okay, so this is how we can do it. So let's come here and we're going to call this request, sorry, return, because from this async function which we have used to wrap this create NFT, when anything goes wrong into that, we'll catch an error into this. Okay, into this our catching function, and we want to return that. And what are the things we want to return? We want to return this request, response, and next. Okay, and now we're going to wrap this entire function with this, and it will work fine. Now we have able to access this request, response, and next, and we can simply pass the error to our global error handler. Okay, so we can make this even better. Okay, so we don't need to write this huge code. We can simply replicate this, and I can comment this, so you can find that we can even modify this. So instead of writing this huge code, we can simply pass the error next. Okay, the moment you do that, it will automatically trigger the error handler. Okay, so that's the error async function, and this is good to go. You can easily able to catch all the async error which is happening in your route, in your API. Okay, all these functions like update, create, get all with this catch async. So let's do it very quickly, and let's come here and let's try to make a request. So if I come here and make a request, still everything's looking fine. If I do for the post, and here you will see, so here what I want to do is I want to simply I don't want to provide the duration which is required field. Okay, so I will simply remove that and try to make a request. If I hit a request, and here you can see that error handler is working fine. Okay, someone's tried to create an NFT without durations, because duration is a mandatory field, and that's why we are getting that error message. NFT validation failed, duration must provide duration. Okay, must provide duration. So it's working fine. You can see how beautiful it is. So we have this error message, we have this. Okay, that looks pretty good. And right now you can see this status code is 500, so we have to fix that as well, because the error is happening, displaying perfectly, but we have to find a way to fix this status code, because this is actually a wrong, it's nothing for the server error. Okay, so we're going to build the functionality for that as well, but I believe that you guys are seeing that how it's coming together. Okay, let's bring it back and let's try to make a request. You can see right now still it's getting that error message because the name is same, so duplicate fail. It's okay. So all the validation is working absolutely fine, and we can easily able to catch all the error from our NFT, create NFT. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Now what I will do, I will create another file, and in that I'm going to keep this catch async function. Okay, so I want to separate things because this is just like a utility module which we have built to reuse in our all async function. Okay, so it's always better to split in different files. So let's come here in utility and we're going to call this, let's say, catch async, and in that I'm going to keep this function. So simply come, and I'm going to simply come here, and where we have, so I'm going to simply comment this and I'm paste here. Okay, so this is how we have, and now I'm going to simply remove this. Okay, so I will say module dot export, and I'm don't need to provide this name, simply make it like, and that's the only thing we have to do here in our catch async, and this function will work. Okay, looks pretty good. Okay, this is the function we have for our catching error, and right now you can see our app is crashed because we don't have a way to figure it out that what is this catch async. So now we have to import that. Let's come here, I'll bring this terminal down and simply import that very quickly. So I'll say I'll come here, I'll say const catch asyncs are required, and that's coming from, let's say, utils catch asyncs, and now everything would be working fine. If you open up your terminal, you can see we are back on track, database successfully connected, our server is running fine. So this is how we can split the code, and let's try one more time. Okay, let's remove the duration one more time, hit the request, and still we get that error, validation error. If we bring it back, make a request, you can see still we get a duplicate error, and that looks pretty good. Okay, that looks pretty good. And now what we have to do is to wrap all the function with this async function. Okay, and in that way we have to write very less code. Okay, so you can see this is the async function for the create NFT. Let's come here and we are going to grab this because I don't want to remove, I want to provide all these codes to all of you. So let me select all of these and simply copy and paste. Okay, so let me select, we have written huge line of code, simply copy and paste, cut. Okay, and now we're going to make it clean. Okay, so let's close this one, delete this, and delete this portion so we can have a clean environment. Delete this one as well, close this one. We have this aggregate pipeline, you can simply delete that, and this is for delete NFT, and this is for patch NFT, this is for get, and simply delete this. Okay, we don't need this one anymore, and this is for update, and we have to delete this as well. So it looks pretty good. Now we have a clean environment, and now we can start wrapping all the functions. Okay, so this is what we have, catch async, simply copy and wrap the get all NFT, cut this here and bring back here, and now we have to remove this try and catch. So cut, remove this portion, and we have to remove this catch block as well. So remove this catch block, and why we are getting this error, remove this one as well. So right now you can see we have to write very small piece of code because we have divided into a beautiful functions, and it looks very clean. Okay, we are sending only one response for here. Okay, now let's do for the create, and now let's do for the single entry catch asyncs upload, and we're going to wrap this one. We're going to simply remove this try and catch block. Okay, simply select this portion and remove it. Okay, so right now look pretty fine, simple. Do the same thing for the update, and that's, let's say we have here update, and we're going to take this catch async, wrap it, and we're going to paste it here, and we're going to remove this catch blocks, and we have to remove this try block. Okay, so let's do it very quickly. I'm going to do it faster because this is the same thing which you have to do in all the async functions. Okay, so no matter how many async function you have, all you can do is to add this catch asyncs and you can neutralize it. Okay, there is many way to do this, but this is the best way I found when I was taking this course, and Jonathan, who taught me really amazingly in that he talked about reusability model. So that's how you can do it. Okay, so let's wrap this delete one as well, and I'm going to remove this portion as well and remove this try and catch. So it looks pretty neat and clean. Now we have to do this for the status as well. Let's scroll all the way down and wrap it here. Okay, that looks pretty good. Remove this try and remove this one. Try and catch. Do this for the last one. So finally we have converted all these function into a catch async, so we can easily able to handle all the errors. And here you can see in the alias route it's not async function, okay, so we don't need to write that as well. Now let's come here and try to make a request. You can see still everything's working fine. Okay, still everything's working fine. If I type the name, right name, if I make a request, and here I can easily able to create an NFT. Okay, if I try to get all NFT, still it's working fine. You can see all the data we have. If I do for the single request, make a request, you can see this is the secret NFT, so we can't able to access. Now let's get some valid NFT. Okay, get the ID of the visible NFT. Okay, let's come back to the single NFT, replace, and hit enter. And here you can see it's working fine. It's working fine. Okay, and here you can see the delete is also looking fine. So we have all these method which is absolutely working fine. And now we can show you, I want to show you something. Come back in the delete, and if I paste here and try to delete, you can see we have deleted. If I come into the get all, and you can see it's working fine. Okay, we have 6. And that's the only thing I want to cover in this video. Hope you guys have found this video valuable. If you have still any confusion, any doubt about the functionality we have built, do leave in the comment section, and I will continue working on this API in the next video. So let's see you there.